Sure, it's rolling.
Welcome into another episode of New England Sports Guys Podcast. I'm your host. Thanks for joining. We're going to go over some quick Week 4 recap stuff. We're going to talk about injuries around the NFL. We're going to talk about Thursday Night Football, which we're both watching right now. Colts versus Broncos. We're going to do a Patriot recap of last week, and then we'll do a Patriot preview of this week versus the Lions. We're going to talk a little fantasy football, maybe a little Bruins, little Celtics, and then some extracurriculars. But before we get to any of that, let me bring in my co-host, Smitty. Smitty, how are you?
I'm pretty sure I'm good. Can you hear me?
I can.
Okay, it tells me it's muted. But anyway, sorry, a little slow tonight. I had a couple cocktails. But no, things are good. Just got back from Idaho last week, so we didn't record last week because of that. It was a wild week. That it was 1 week of travel, but I'm pretty sure it took 6 weeks off my life.
Do you have a near-death experience or something?
No, I think I had a total of like 7.5 hours of sleep in 3 days.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah. So, but it was good. It was great. I hosted part of the training. I had a presentation on that Thursday morning. I was gone, and went well received. It was a lot of fun. Got to see a bunch of work colleagues, friends that haven't seen in a long time, which has been great. It was nice to take that trip. And then let's see, what did we do this weekend? This weekend we took the train down and went to the Bruins game on Saturday. That was a great game to go to. Granted, it's a preseason game, but we were sitting 6 rows from the ice. Patrick's first experience at the Bruins game. So what we decided to do, I think I've told you, we want to go, the three of us, my wife, Patrick, and I, want to go to all the NHL ice arenas. What we're going to do is get a cork board and get a pin from each one and post it onto a North American kind of map. Post it as we go to each one of these. So we got the Bruins, the little Bruins, just the spoke B symbol. We're going to get that squared away here over the next couple weeks, and then love to hit one every year or maybe a couple years, especially if you go to like the California. I'd like to hit all 3 of the Californias in one trip, the San Jose, LA, Anaheim, all of them in one trip. But anyway, took the train down. That train ride from Freeport to Boston, it's nice that it goes right into North Station, but it's long. It is long.
Probably a bunch of stops, yeah.
I think there were like 10 or 12 stops or something like that. But yeah, then Sunday just watched football. I watched the Patriots for the most part. Did a fantasy hockey draft. Have a hell of a team. I'm pretty excited about that one. And then just watch my team crush yours in 2 leagues. Crush.
Don't want to talk about.
Okay, we can skip that. But yeah, other than that, I mean, there's not a lot going on. How about yourself, E?
Not much. Played a little golf over the weekend. Getting caught up on all my programs because I'm old. But there's a lot to watch.
Murder, She Wrote.
Yeah. Love me some Murder, She Wrote. So let's get into the Week 4 recap. So I just covered some surprises. So like the Falcons beating the Browns, like that just can't happen. I know that you have Brissett and stuff, but like the rest of the team is still pretty good. Like you're supposed to be treading water. You cannot be losing to the Jets and the Falcons. Like it just can't happen.
Didn't have Myles Garrett this week, right? Or did they have him? He's not playing this week. I can't remember.
I don't think he's playing this week, or they don't know yet because he got in a car accident, a one-person car accident. But anyway, if the Browns if they're supposed to be this contending team, they can't lose these games, especially if they're treading water until they get Deshaun back. So that's how I see it. I don't know how you see it, but they should have beaten the Falcons. Falcons are going to be like bottom 5.
Same with the Jets. I think the Jets are going to be in that, with especially a Jets led by Joe Flacco. Like you should beat those guys 9.5 times out of 10.
Yeah, and they had an incredible collapse in week 3 to the Jets, where they scored 13 points in less than 2 minutes or something like that. The next game that surprised me was the Seahawks and the Lions. It was 48-45. I thought I read that wrong. No, just nobody played defense. Literally nobody played defense.
So for the first time, maybe ever, the Lions have the number 1 offense.
I don't know if it's ever, but yeah.
They also have the number 32 defense. That's certainly not the first time ever, but their offense can score some friggin' points, considering they didn't have Amon-Ra St. Brown, DeAndre Swift, and DJ Shark.
Yep.
Like 3 pass catchers that's 20 passes a game between the 3 of them.
Pretty close, yeah.
Didn't have the 3 of them, and they still were able to put up 45. Granted, Seahawks, don't want to overshadow that. Seahawks defense isn't what Seahawks defense used to be.
No, but they don't look bad like week 1, but they were playing the Broncos, so.
Which, again, the Broncos haven't looked good at all.
Yeah, they're dismal.
In any point. But I was really surprised that the Lions were favored by 5.5 in that game. I picked the Lions to win plus 5.5, but I was really surprised that they were favored 5.5. That seemed like a big spread. Seemed like a big spread to me, considering that they have a bad defense and the Seahawks. I mean, it's not quite as bad as everybody thought. Geno Smith, a resurgent Geno Smith,
Hall of Famer at this rate.
Jesus. You pump the brakes on that.
He's second in QBR behind some guy named Josh Allen. Some nobody.
I've heard of him.
So I didn't see that game, but the stat line coming out of there is the Seahawks never punted. And they never did that with Russell Wilson, just saying. But anyway, the Lions got to start playing some defense. Just a little bit of defense, and they can win all these games. If you're scoring 35 points, you're going to win almost every game.
All I need is one fucking stop.
Seriously, it's like... So that reminds me of when the Patriots played the Eagles. The Patriots punted once, lost.
Yeah. In
the Super Bowl. So the next game on the docket of games that I saw was the Jets beat the Steelers. So this is good because, one, we want to see the Jets improve because they got young players. We want to see them improve. We want to, Robert Saleh, we think they're doing the right thing. Mm-hmm. And 2, we really fucking hate the Steelers. And then it was good because they got to see Jimmy Pickett got put in at halftime. So
Kenny.
That's what. Oh, I wrote Jimmy. It's Kenny. It's Kenny Pickett. Got put in at halftime. And
I don't know if you saw this.
They look better.
Every single one of his passes completed. He threw 3 picks.
Somebody caught it.
But somebody caught every single pass that he threw.
Mm-hmm. And
I think it was either 2 or 3 picks.
Some of those weren't his fault, though. I think there was 3 picks, but some weren't his fault. A couple hit a couple other people, and then some guy grabbed it.
I don't think he's going to be the answer for them, but we'll see.
He can scramble a little bit, and he can push the ball down the field. Mitch Trubisky cannot do that. He's more of a game manager, and he's not even good at that. But Kenny Pickett's about to have a baptism by fire here. So he got to go against the Jets. The only good thing the Jets really have going for them is their defense. So he sort of had a,
which has looked bad this year.
Sure, but it's literally their strength. Robert Saleh is a defensive coordinator, and the Steelers are not a good offensive team. They have a bad offensive line. But anyway, Kenny Pickett he's going to have a baptism of fire here with the Steelers schedule: Bills, Bucks, Dolphins, Eagles, Saints, Bengals. So they might go like 0-6 in a second. And the Steelers are probably going to have a losing record this year for the first time in Mike Tomlin's tenure.
Mm-hmm.
At least that's what I expect. And then everything else in the league, all the rest of the games, those were all pretty standard as what we probably would have predicted as far as win-losses. There wasn't a lot to talk about there. In this next section, there's a bunch to talk about, NFL injuries. So we'll start with the Tua injury. So that made a lot of headlines because he looked like he got knocked out against the Bills, but he came back in. And they said it was a back injury and a neck injury, and that's why he was wobbly. And then he gets knocked out against the Bengals. But and they're like, is it the coach's fault? And McDaniel's taking a bunch of heat over it. McDaniel is just doing what the doctors are telling him to do. If they say he can play, he puts him out there. Like, that's just what it is. If the doctor, I think one doctor's already been fired actually over this. So
yeah,
clearly they didn't do something right. And that second getting knocked out against the Bengals, it was totally avoidable. That was like a 10-second play, and he just like rolled out and kept holding the ball. He's got to learn the Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers thing. Just chuck it in the ground.
Yeah, after 4 seconds, you got to have that internal clock of, I'm going to get my head taken off. I need to get rid of this fucking thing.
Even if you just chuck it in the ground, taking intentional grounding, that is a lot better than you getting knocked out for multiple weeks.
Yeah, right.
So I think that was sort of on Tua.
He's not a good quarterback.
But he also came back from a concussion within 4 days. Well, it wasn't listed as alleged concussion. So the NFLPA and the NFL are getting to figure it out. I bet there's going to be a rule that's going to come down next year, probably from the safety committee, because how much they care about their players, which they don't.
The Tua rule.
Yeah, it's going to be the Tua rule. If you get knocked out on Sunday, you can't play on Thursday, or vice versa. Not the other way around, because Thursday to Sunday, it's 10 days. But 4 days, they'll probably put like a 6-day minimum or something like that, where you have to sit out.
Yep.
Speaking of getting knocked out, watching Thursday Night Football, third play of the game, Nyheim Hines get knocked out.
Did you put him in?
No.
Oh.
No.
There's going to be a lot of people that put him in that are very upset right now.
Yeah, he caught a pass, got dump trucked, couldn't walk. It didn't look like he got hit in the head, but Nyheim Hines is kind of a small guy, got hit by a linebacker, so you got to remember your brain is like a ball floating in water in a dish. So if you just shake hard enough, like your brain hits the side, it's like maybe he just got rattled, but he couldn't walk. It looked bad. Javonte Williams tore his ACL, PCL, so the Broncos are playing without him right now.
Done for the year.
Yeah, done for the year. Jonathan Taylor for the Colts right now isn't in this game. He has an ankle injury. Brian Hoyer got concussed. He's sent to the IR. So Bailey Zappi's going to have to start for the Patriots. Mac Jones got a high ankle sprain a couple weeks ago, and he's listed as day-to-day, but he's not going to come back this week against the Lions.
It doesn't make sense to bring him back, right? I don't think
our offense is that explosive.
And Bailey Zappi, I think, he'll be good enough to fill in as a game manager, just to try to, maybe win some games for Mac Jones. I don't know that Mac Jones playing instead of Bailey Zappi puts us over the edge to win the games that, like last week, probably weren't going to win against Green Bay anyway, right? This coming week, I actually picked Detroit to win. I don't think the Patriots are going to beat Detroit.
Me too. So that's we'll talk about it later. I'll save it for later.
But I don't think. Oh boy, what are you holding your hands up here, Jerry Jeudy? The guy jumped over you and he high pointed the ball.
Yeah, he made a play on the ball. I don't see a problem. Unless he's talking about a grab earlier.
That's the only thing. But
the ball was thrown behind him too.
No, he didn't touch anybody. The guy jumped over him. Yeah,
no, it's a clean play. So the whole Bills secondary is sort of depleted. So that's kind of a question mark, because that was supposed to be like one of the strengths to go with their front seven and their pass rush. The Colts are without Shaquille Leonard. They've been missing him all season. Came back last week for one game. He gets knocked out by a teammate, and the teammate got a concussion as well. And he broke Shaquille Leonard's nose. So Shaquille Leonard's out for this coming week. And then we all know DeAndre Swift has a shoulder injury, so he's still out. Those are the big injuries that I saw over the past couple weeks. I don't think I missed anything that was too important.
No, I can't think anything. Can't think anything significant that you didn't mention there. I mean, Swift is going to he'll be back. He's probably day to day. Same with Jonathan Taylor, day to day, game to game. I think, again, at this point with Mac Jones.
Swift's out with this coming weekend. I don't know what's wrong with his shoulder, but.
I don't know. I got Jamal Williams, so I'm happy about it. With Mac Jones, again, with that, going back to that, with that high ankle sprain, if you don't fully heal the thing, it never heals. Yeah. So might as well just leave him out. Again, probably not playing for anything this year, except for a top 15 draft pick, and let him get fully healthy. Just play Bailey Zappi until Mac Jones is fully healthy, or play Bailey Zappi all year. See what the kid's got. Maybe it's like a Jimmy Garoppolo situation where he displays what he's got and trade him to Seattle.
So as we were talking, we are watching Thursday Night Football. It's a nice little run. So like I already mentioned, the Colts are without Shaquille Leonard on defense. Jonathan Taylor is out. The Colts look terrible. Nyheim Hines is out. A lot of this has to do with Matt Ryan is also like slow and old. He's like a statue, so he can't dodge anything. So if one of his offensive linemen doesn't, gets beat, it's an automatic sack. There's nothing for him to do. So the Broncos are without Javonte Williams. We just talked about that. Melvin Gordon's going to be the lead back, but he's been fumbling. He's played 5 games, fumbled 5 times.
Mm-hmm.
So that's not good. And the Broncos look like
Mike Boone.
The Broncos look like dog shit too. So I think a lot of this has to do with both of these teams made a bunch of splashy moves during the offseason. So the expectations from last year and this year are just like super high. And don't get me wrong, I bought into that hype when the Colts got Matt Ryan good, because they would just need a quarterback, just need a steady quarterback. And then they got Stephon Gilmore on defense as well. They already have Shaquille Leonard, as a middle linebacker. So like they're a solid team. Jonathan Taylor's already there. Michael Pittman's there. They drafted a young wide receiver. They got 2 good young tight ends. Mo Alley Cox is one, and Jelani Woods is the other, I think.
Yeah.
So on paper they look dirty. It's just I think with the way that the preseason games are now and nobody plays in them, I think that this is really like week 1.
Sure.
With all the games sort of shifted up. So teams are still trying to figure out what they're doing. Defenses are better earlier in the season than offensives are, because offenses
tough call.
You don't really know what your identity is. What was it, a holding?
They called holding, but
yeah, you can call holding.
It looked like a good block to me.
You call holding on every play.
Right.
And then same thing with the Broncos. The Broncos have a good defense, have a good run game, good wide receivers, skill positions. They just need a quarterback. And again, they still haven't quite figured it out yet. Russell's not really a gunslinger. And that's sort of the narrative, right, that I heard all before this matchup, is that, have him roll out and run around. And, he doesn't want to do that anymore.
He used to.
Yeah, now but he doesn't. He didn't want to do it then. He doesn't want to do it now. The only thing is it's the defense that works, or it's the offense that works for him, because he's not really a gunslinger. I think he needs to scramble when he needs to scramble, but I think he prefers to, take command and call it at his checks at the lines and alerts and do all that. The only problem is we've never really seen him do that. He's never been given that type of control before. In Seattle, they sort of didn't do any of that. Of course, they didn't block for him either, so I can understand why he left. But I just think the expectations on both teams is too high. We won't really know much about these teams till another 4 weeks, probably.
Who did I pick for tonight's game?
I took the Broncos, because I think the difference in this game, this is going to be an ugly-ass game. Right now it's 3-0, and we're going close to the second quarter.
I took the Broncos to win by 3.5. So win by 4.
Yeah. I think the difference in this game is the Broncos defense. Because both offenses look like dog shit. Russell's taken off again. That's the second time I've seen him run for a first down, or I don't know if that was a first down, but he took off. So if he can add that into his game and then find the open receivers and Melvin Gordon not fumble, I think the Broncos can guide this to a win over the Colts, because the Colts look bad. The Broncos look bad.
Yeah, both teams have not looked good. I mostly picked the Broncos because they're in Denver.
Yeah, I took them. Yeah, they're at home. Like I said, I think Denver's defense is a lot better than Indy's defense right now. So, do you have anything else you want to talk about the Colts and Broncos?
No, both teams just haven't
They're
played
bad.
up to expectations, like we talked about. I was expecting the Broncos to possibly be competitive to win the division.
They still can.
Sure, they could.
Nobody's running away with it. I mean, except for the Raiders are trying to lose it.
The Raiders are doing a pretty good job. They're what, 1-3 now?
Yeah, but that division's pretty close. I mean, the Chiefs are probably
3-1.
Probably gonna win. What the hell did I just click on?
P-Hub?
Yeah, definitely. I clicked on standings, then like a Disney window came up, and I was like, "What?" Yeah, 3-1, and right now Denver's 2-2. If they win tonight, they're 3-2. They got the same amount of wins as Kansas City. So, also helps when you play, on Thursday night. So, yeah, I figured they'd be in the middle of the pack. Same thing with the Chargers, but you could get a wild card out of this division or two people out of this division. Just because we know that one is, two probably are not coming out of the AFC North. Two are not coming. That's not true. Two could come out of the AFC East, but two are not coming out of the AFC South. That's 2, 2, 1, and 0. That is gross.
Yeah.
So, an ugly division. Anyway, let's talk about the Patriots versus the Packers. We both kind of expected them to lose that game. I did. I'm surprised we hung around as long as we did, actually.
I actually picked the Packers to cover that 10.5 spread.
Oh. No, I picked the Patriots. Packers offense is dog shit.
No, their offense is what should be their. They should have beat the Patriots by 11 points.
Yeah, but their offense isn't good.
What part of their offense isn't good? They have
two running backs and no wide receivers.
Reigning MVP.
No tight end.
Robert Tonyan's a good tight end. He can't block. He's a good catching tight end.
He's still coming off an ACL.
Sure.
He won't be good till next year.
They've started getting all the young guys, Christian Watson and Romeo Doubs, into the game plan.
But they didn't look good against the Patriots. The Patriots have a good defense, so I expected the Patriots to hang in there, and they did.
The Patriots did better than I expected. I don't
like that Aaron Rodgers pick 6. That was great.
You said the Patriots have a good defense. I don't think Patriots defense scares anybody.
No, but it's not going to be horrible. They're not going to give up 50.
I would say top 20 defense. I don't think it's top 10.
I don't really like our linebackers, but we're going to play good coverage. We're going to be in the right spots. Christian Barmore's a fucking brick house.
He's a monster.
Run defense isn't going to be too bad. Yeah, we're just going to hang in there, but I don't think the Patriots we've never really had a defense that's like game changing, or we might get a turnover here and there, but.
Is that Mike Boone? No, that's Melvin Gordon.
Melvin Gordon. But.
He didn't fumble.
The Packers offense is like stuck in third gear, so to speak. They don't know how to hit another gear, so they're kind of stumbling along. And Aaron Rodgers had said after the game, like, you can't win games like that playing that way, like good defense and, muddling offense. But
I don't know. Even with just the two running backs, both of them are number one running backs.
Sure, but just
And
put
they're really
Aaron Jones
freaking
in
good.
the slot and call it a day.
I'd be okay with that. I like him running the ball too, though.
Yeah, so I mean, we expected the Packers to win. I didn't expect them to blow us out. I picked the Patriots to cover, and they did. But there's nothing special about that game, except for Brian Horry got hurt, so Bailey Zappi had to come in, and Bailey Zappi's now the man apparently. I don't know much about him, but I just remember that we had drafted him. So let's talk about the Lions versus the Patriots. Again, we're picking against the Patriots here. I'm picking the Lions. I think the Lions will outscore the Patriot offense. I don't with a rookie quarterback. Now, don't get me wrong. I hope Damian Harris has 3 touchdowns and Ramondre Stevenson has 2 touchdowns. But I don't know if Bailey Zappi knows enough about the offense to throw it over the yard or anything. I don't think that's going to happen. But the Lions have the worst rushing defense in the league right now. So I think the Patriots are just going to, go jumbo and just smash it into them as much as they can. I hope it's like, ideally, I think the Patriots offense could, with Bailey Zappi, could do like what they did in Buffalo last year. Just run it 47 times. And then throw a slant to Hunter Henry once in a while. Because I don't trust any of our wide receivers besides like Jacoby Myers. Like, I don't like Aguilar. Bourne is okay.
Jacoby Myers probably isn't playing again. He's still hurt too.
Yeah. But like, I don't like Nelson Aguilar.
Kendrick Bourne.
Yeah, they're nobody to rely on. I don't think Parker's played very well for being the 50-50 ball guy. He doesn't catch anything.
He catches less than 50 of them.
Yeah. I like just throw a slant to Hunter Henry and run the ball. That's all.
And Jonnu got hurt too. He's probably week to week, I think they said.
Sounds
so he might be out for an extended period of time. So quickly, Bailey Zappi, just getting back to him, Western Kentucky guy, birth date 1999. That makes me feel old as fuck. He went 10 of 15, 99 yards, 1 touchdown, no picks.
Yeah, he can be a game manager.
It is perfectly adequate. Like you said, to manage the game, and you're not going to light the world on fire, but if you can continue to do that, not turn the ball over, which is one thing I guess they were saying. Bill said to him, like, after the first series, he goes, "I don't give a shit what you do. Don't turn the fucking ball over." His next series, he fumbled. But other than that, I mean, I think he's looked decent. Again, I think he's going to do just fine. Nobody's there, Russell, bud. I think he's going to do just fine. That's what the Patriots like. The only problem is the playbook's going to be a lot smaller for him. Yep.
This week, so if they get stuck in certain situations, if you're 3rd and 8, well, you only have 4 of those plays that he knows. Like,
yep, they're going to do. It's going to be a lot of runs and a lot of screens, I think, or quick slants, any quick outs, anything like that. They're not going to have him hold the ball more than 3 seconds.
I think there's going to be a lot of running because the Lions are so bad. And you got 2 guys that can just mash up the field, and then put in Pierre Strong if you really want. Have a 3rd one. But I still predict the Lions to win. I think it will be close, though.
Yeah, I mean, the Lions are favored. What are they favored at? I want to say it's 2.5.
Does Hawk have 8 for 179, 2 touchdowns?
Sorry, New England is favored 3.5.
Yeah, I'm still picking the Lions.
Yeah, no, 100%, because I think the Lions are actually going to win the game. But is Hawkinson going to go off again and eat your fucking soul? Probably.
He had 8 for 179, 2 tutties.
I'm fully aware. I have him in all 4 leagues.
He had 40 points, 38 points, something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, he played pretty well. And all those guys are basically going to miss the this week's game against Patriots. So what do you do? Hawkinson. I mean, with no Kyle Duggar, it makes it a little easier for Hawkinson to be
Yeah, he's
the
a
pass
big
catcher.
safety.
Yeah.
So you expect the Lions to win?
Yeah.
You think they're going to blow us out? I think it's going to be a close game, but I just think the Lions will win.
I think it depends on what you mean by close game. I bet they're going to win by 4+.
Okay. I'd still consider that close.
Yeah, it depends on how big that plus goes, but yeah.
All right. Yeah, I mean, there's not a whole lot with the Patriots. They're just basically playing for next year anyway. So fantasy football, let's talk about that. I got dump trucked in both leagues because I had Tua in and Tua got knocked out in both leagues.
And you played me in both leagues.
And I played you both leagues. Awful timing. So somebody in one of our leagues put George Kittle on the block. And so I kicked the tires and sent him a trade, and he's like, "Oh, I want a lot more than that." I was like, "Okay." George Kittle, he missed the first 2 games because he was hurt, and then he came back, and the 49ers offensive line is all beat up. So basically, he's just a blocker, and he's going to be that way until Trent Williams comes back in like week 11. So George Kittle's going to have a real down year. So I'm not going to overpay for him. And plus, I already had Pat Freiermuth, and I don't really need him. There's not much of a difference. I'd rather have Pat Freiermuth than a really bad George Kittle. And George Kittle, in the last 5 years, he was out for 2 of them. So this is the 5th year. So when he does play, he's awesome. The only problem is right now they need him as a blocker. So it is what it is. It kind of sucks for him. But the problem is he's a really good blocker. It's like Gronkowski.
Mike Gesicki.
Is he a good blocker?
I don't know. They just said he's going to be a blocker this year.
Oh, yeah, right. Somebody offered me for Nick Chubb. It was it was a decent trade. The only problem is I need Nick Chubb right now because Jonathan Taylor got hurt, DeAndre Swift was out, and Alvin Kamara's banged up, and I was like, I can't trade one of the 4 running backs I have. But if I lose a couple more weeks, by trade deadline, I might move on from him, give him to somebody who wants to make a run. But
you're going to make him pay too much, and
as long as it works out for me.
Yeah.
Have you seen any trade offers or any trade movement?
No, except from you. I
didn't send you any trade offers.
No, not right now. You always kick the tires anyway, though.
Yeah, pretty much anything. If I can get the right deal, I'll do it. Everybody has a price.
Agreed. Just your price seems a lot different than my price. Sorry, your price for my players is very different than my price for my players.
Yeah, but then I also have to pay a tax because it's me.
That's also true. Yeah.
Just like when I trade with you, I increase it by at least 20%.
Yeah. Although I did in my redraft league just make a trade. I don't know if I told you about this. On Saturday, and the date is significant, and I'll tell you why. On Saturday, I had 3 people on my bench. I had Joe Burrow, Adam Thielen, and Melvin Gordon. Traded those 3 away to get Romeo Doubs, A.J. Dillon, and Gabriel Davis. All 3 of them were on my bench. But again, that was Saturday. Oh, the Broncos kicked another field goal. Nice. So now, definitely winning. But I want Matt Ryan to throw at least 1 touchdown would be great tonight. Maybe 2.
I have Michael Pittman. I'll take some catches, some passes to Michael Pittman. Hey, that was 1.
Oh, cut that outside. Oh, there was so much room outside.
To the right?
Yeah. But anyway, yeah, so I made that trade because I have Kyler Murray. Melvin Gordon's not breaking my running back lineup. I have Austin Eckler, Nick Chubb, and
Sure.
David
And you said it was,
Montgomery.
plus you said it was a redraft, so.
Full redraft league. And then as far as wide receivers, I got Stephon Diggs and DK. So Adam Thielen's probably not breaking the lineup. And I wanted to see what Romeo Doubs and I like AJ Dillon better normally than Jesus Christ, Matt Ryan. That's a hold. Yeah, just get rid of the ball. Oh, he just got lit up. I like AJ Dillon than I like better than I like Melvin Gordon. But Melvin Gordon's going to get a lot more touches now, but AJ Dillon at least scores points.
The only thing I like out of that trade is Romeo Doubs down the stretch.
Sure.
Assuming they figure it out, I think he's going to be better than Christian Watson, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
So here's a later round.
I think
pick.
he's going to be the more volume guy than Christian Watson.
Yeah, and Christian Watson will be the field stretcher.
Yeah.
So moving off of fantasy football, the Red Sox season's done. And I'm pretty sure Eck retired from NESN.
He did. He retired from broadcasting. Yep.
Yeah.
Well, he just fumbled. Oh,
wow.
Yeah. No, Alec Pierce fumbled. Paris Campbell, first thing you've done in your career. Love it.
Pretty much. I haven't seen him actually play in 3 years. So this is new for me. And I have Alex Pierce in a league, I think. Nice catch.
Yeah, you got to hold on to the ball, bud.
Tough guy came behind you. Nice way to be alert, Paris Campbell. Nice job.
Jesus
Look at
Christ.
that.
You've been holding on to Paris Campbell in this dynasty league for 2 years.
I have him in 2 leagues, I think. I fucking want to drop him in both. Coming to my wits end. I was gonna drop Brian Edwards for somebody, but I lost that waiver wire vultures in our dynasty leagues.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, yeah. Getting back to Dennis Eckersley. Yeah. Hats off to him. He did a great job. I think his insight and some of the random shit he said was dynamite over the years.
Yeah, I thought you did a real good job. High cheese, baby.
High cheese. Yeah. Give him that chatter. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see who they bring in. I know they've brought in a couple others. I think Papelbon was on the panel, not necessarily in game, but he was on the panel, like the before and after game type panel with Tom Caron.
Mm-hmm.
They've had Kevin Youkilis a lot. I think Uke does a pretty good job with the kind of the color in for the Red Sox game. So be interesting to see who they bring in. Like I said, I'd rather it be Youkilis. I think he's done a great job so far in the short amount of Red Sox games I've watched. So, but hats off to Eck. He's done it for a long time. He's been around the game for a really friggin' long time. And honestly, I think there's an argument possibly for him Hall of Fame as a commentator, as well as being the player Hall of Famer.
Maybe. I don't know if he did enough broadcasting. Because even during the seasons, it wasn't like all the time. He just sort of like filled in.
True. But he's been doing it for...
But he could make like the Red Sox Hall of Fame or something.
Oh, yeah. He's got to.
So the Celtics, they're 1-1 on the season. That's about all there is to
their season
really...
started?
Yep.
The actual regular season started?
Oh, nice pass, Matt Ryan.
Stop holding the ball like that. I know you're on defense, but
he's never held the ball before.
Oh, I know.
Matt Ryan. Okay, so just for context, Matt Ryan has 5 touchdowns. I think he has 8 fumbles. 3 of them are lost, and then he also has 6 interceptions now. So he's got what?
On the year,
14 turnovers. Oh, sorry, 9 turnovers. 10 turnovers.
Like Daniel Jones.
Yeah, it's not good.
All right, so on the year, he's got 2, 4, 5 touchdowns, 3, 4, 5 picks,
3 lost fumbles.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 fumbles. 3 of them lost.
Yeah, and then he just threw an interception. So 6 interceptions now.
Hmm.
So that's a lot of turnovers, man. 10 turnovers in less than 5 games. It's not good. It's not winning football. So a lot of those fumbles are he's trying to make a play. He's playing hero ball because one
The
reason or
team
another.
sucks.
Yeah, and he's not as young as he used to be. So he's is what it is. Anyway, on to we'll just say the Celtics season started. They're 1-1. There's not a whole lot to talk about there. They lost their head coach for the whole year.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what happens with them.
Ime Udoka.
Well, just the Celtics in general.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
Bruins regular season starts on Wednesday next week against the Capitals on TNT.
Oh, so the games that they're playing are preseason right now? Yeah, I saw them playing did they just play the Rangers?
Yesterday they played the Rangers. Yep, on TNT.
Yep. Cool. So going on to extracurriculars. Obviously we're trying to get as much golf in still before it gets too cold. Lord of the Rings. I've been Rings of Power. Yeah, I've been watching all the Lord of the Rings.
I watched the first episode and
I'm caught up.
Maybe 2.
They're a bit long. We're slow.
Yeah. You like them?
But it's also not a movie. It's a TV series, so they sort of have to build up. Yeah, I like them so far. It's filling in a lot of backstory, essentially.
Time out. Let me pause you right there. Did you see that alternate stream? So Prime Video is trying to do an alternate stream with it said Storm and somebody.
Mm-hmm.
That looked exactly like the Manning cast.
Yeah, same deal. I've never seen it before until tonight. I think it's the first time I've seen it. But I'll just stick with these guys. I like Al Michaels and Kirk Herbstreit anyway. So
I think both of them are real good. I really like Kirk Herbstreit. I think he does a great job.
Yeah, he does. Game of Thrones. I'm caught up on Game of Thrones, and then also Andor came out. I think they're up to 5 episodes so far for Andor. Star Wars.
Yeah. I watched the first episode. I feel like it's a little slow. I haven't given it much of a chance yet, so I'll probably go back and watch that, and Lord of the Rings, really. But Game of Thrones has been pretty decent. So yeah, I mean it's been. I've been
Did you say that you've seen Andor?
I watched the first episode of Andor.
Okay, that's slow.
Yeah.
As well.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The Andor's slow. So, so one thing you and I have talked about, skipping off from the TV talk, about changing the name of the pod. I mean, we don't do a lot of Red Sox or a lot of Celtics, and I know we're called New England Sports Guys, and we've been kicking the tires on this for a little while, kicking around a couple names. Under Center, Off the Glass. I'm reading a couple that I like randomly will text you every once in a while of.
Mm-hmm.
I had one today, Gas and Beers and Chucking Bombs. I think that's a good one. I think that might be the winner. But what were some of the other ones that I sent you?
So that reminds me of the Zach Wilson meme, banging moms and chucking bombs.
Yeah.
And so did I send you the meme of Zach Wilson?
With the Tom Brady and Giselle stuff?
Yeah.
Oh, you didn't, but I saw him. And
that's hilarious.
Yeah, that one's good. So some other ones.
Yeah, we're just looking to change the name.
High Off the Glass, Behind the Net, Off the Glass and Out. A couple, just trying to think of a few names that kind of are more relevant to some of the things we talk about rather than New England Sports Guys. So something to keep in mind that we're going to kick around and maybe rebrand here shortly.
Yeah, I just think that it's a little too broad, and I don't know. Like you said, we don't really talk a ton of Celtics or Red Sox. It'd be different if we were watching the Red Sox. If the Nest and YouTube deal didn't fall apart, we'd probably watch more Red Sox games. But also, baseball's not what it used to be. So, and we play a lot of fantasy football. We like football, and then hockey. Playoff hockey's dynamite. So, if we could stick to those two things, narrow our focus a little bit, it would probably make these a little shorter as well. So. Instead of trying to cover everything in the world, we do.
Judy, nice hands.
Yeah, nice hands, stone hands. We do actually like to talk golf too. So, we're looking for a new name that encompasses a lot of sports or some type of phrase.
Shoot us a message if you have any that you think could be good.
Yeah, we're down for anything. We might just end up with something. So like Spit and Chicklets, like. That's just a name, but they talk everything, right?
It's like 98% hockey.
Yeah.
Which makes sense, right? And their logo is...
Oh, sorry. I was thinking of Barstool.
Barstool is everything.
Yeah.
Barstool Sports is everything.
Yeah.
But they're a huge conglomerate. They have podcasts about... they had podcasts, I don't remember the name of it, but Two Chicks... might be called Two Chicks or something like that. They talk about like the Bachelor, Bachelorette shit. Not my cup of tea, but
nope. Yay! Broncos are punting. Yeah. So
this game's awful.
It's gonna be.
I'm not gonna be upset about going to bed at halftime.
It's two bad teams, and also it's Thursday Night Football, so it's even more junk.
Yeah.
So yeah, do you want to sign us off?
Yeah. It was a nice, quick and dirty one. I think we'll probably come back next week. I might be on the road. I'm going to be in St. Louis next week, and then in Richmond, Virginia, the week after. But I'll have my computer if we want to do these. Let me know. But signing off. You can find us on. Our podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, Stitcher, Podchaser, Buzzsprout, and Google Podcasts. Watch some of the episodes on YouTube if you want to do that, on the New England Sports Guy channel. Hit us up or hit the subscribe button to help us out. Once we get more people to subscribe, we'll start getting more content out. Excuse me. Hit us up on Twitter at NESG Pod. Hit us up on Instagram at NESG _ pod. Thanks for listening. It's just about halftime here. I'm going to go to bed because this game is brutal.
It's garbage. If I don't see you before you travel, safe travels. Have a good weekend.
Thanks, buddy. You too. And appreciate everybody listening. Talk to you soon.
And go Lions.
All right. Later, E.
See ya.